Another player, Man City player in the headlines during the international break was Kevin De Bruyne, who wasn't happy with his Belgian teammates. Some words which he was criticised for, complaining about their application. Um, from a City point of view, it seems to me from the outside that De Bruyne is getting grumpier and grumpier as he gets older. We had that fallout with Guardiola, or the little bust up against in the Liverpool game in March. He often cuts quite a moody figure. Do you think I'm reading too much into that, or do you think there is a brooding frustration there in KDB, as you like to call him?
The brilliant thing about being a fan of a club is that you pay more attention to your players than everyone else would do naturally, because it's just human nature to do that. Kevin De Bruyne has been like this since he joined Manchester City Football Club. There's a famous clip of him getting so frustrated where he's going, let me talk," and he's shouting so aggressively because he wants to get his point across. We've all, lots of us have read that long interview, the Players Tribune, whatever it's called, where De
Mm.
Bruyne talks a lot about his childhood and how he was always quite a forthright individual. And he upset a lot of teammates when he was younger because he always had the difficult things to say. And De Bruyne has always been like that. He's always been very frank. We saw him, a couple of years ago, sort of uh, pushing Arteta around. Arteta wouldn't give him the ball, a former coach of his, and giving it large to the Arsenal fans as they were throwing things at him was coming off the pitch. De Bruyne is just he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. And to be honest, when I read the words, he's not wrong. He didn't talk about the players not being good enough. He talked about the work rate not being good enough, and that's absolutely
Mm.
right. And ultimately, they play for the most the best manager in the world, in my opinion. Guardiola is a genius. He demands nothing other than excellence for his teammates. And I think there's a similarity to his quotes to the Gundogan quotes when he was at Barcelona as well. Gundogan came out and said the reaction to losing in the Champions League tie at one point at Barcelona, it shocked him because there was very little care. There was no emotional resonance. And you've got people like Gundogan and De Bruyne talking about teammates in different sides. They are using that's a reflection of what they're used to, of course, at home, at Manchester City. And I think De Bruyne is entirely down to frustration. Look, he's 33 years old. He's not getting any younger. This is essentially his swan song for Belgium right now. He does want to do well for Belgium. He does want to have that trophy. He's grumpy, but I don't. He's always been grumpy. He's always been like that. He does not like to lose. He does not like it when people don't uphold the highest of standards. And all the greats are like that. The greats demand excellence from those around him, and it's the classic case of brilliant footballer doesn't understand why others aren't quite as brilliant as he is. We see that everywhere. We've seen so many managers, footballers who become managers fail with that as well. And yeah, look, De Bruyne. I mean, I don't understand why you say that, but as City fans, we've been reading quotes for the past year. De Bruyne saying how 6 months out of injury has made him realise how happy he is with his life in Manchester and how happy he is with his teammates and what he's achieved and how actually this is his home now and his kids are Manx now as well and all that kind of stuff. And so he's been giving off all these quotes about how happy he is at Manchester City. But I do think if you're getting older and your time's ticking away and you go to Belgium and you see people not really trying for the country nonetheless, he's probably like, "Ah, I'm sick of that." And I get it, because I would be the same, I would be the same at his age. If I felt, my teammates weren't
If you
given
were
enough.
representing England and people weren't pulling their socks up, you'd be raging in public.
Yeah, well, I would do. I would do. And do you know what? What's he got to lose is Kevin De Bruyne. And actually, if he shames one or two of them, maybe he's right. And look, Ronaldo does it, and no one questions it for a reason because he's one of the greatest of all, if not, the greatest goal scorer of all time. So you understand why the greats try and drag everyone along with them. And I don't think De Bruyne started the season really well for City. He's been great, and I don't think he's wrong to call out if he feels the urge. His teammates were not working hard enough, and if he would just be moaning quality, I would probably say, "Come on, grow up a little bit." But it's not quality. I think he said something like, "If you're not the very best, you've got to work hard." I can't remember the exact quote. I'm paraphrasing there, and he implied they weren't working hard. And look, Belgium have underperformed for a long time now, and I don't feel like he's one of the reasons.